Aquarius, July 2026 becomes a month of meaningful relationships, powerful new alliances, and significant shifts in how you see your future. For most of the month, the sun moves through your sixth house. Your attention naturally turns toward work, daily responsibilities, health, productivity, and the systems that support your life behind the scenes. This is the kind of month that reveals what is truly working and what has quietly outlived its usefulness. The routines you follow every day, the projects you're committed to, the habits you've developed, and the way you organize your time all come under review. There's a strong desire to create order. Not for the sake of control, but because you're beginning to recognize that the quality of your future depends on the quality of your foundation. Meanwhile, Jupiter has already entered Leo and your seventh house. A brand new 12-year cycle begins through relationships, partnerships, collaboration, and meaningful one-on-one connections. Over the next year, many Aquarians will discover that some of their greatest developments come through other people. A new romantic partner, an influential client, a business ally, a mentor, a collaborator, or perhaps an existing relationship becomes stronger, deeper, and more significant. The future isn't being built alone, it's being built through connection. July also features Mercury retrograde moving through Cancer and your sixth house. Work projects, schedules, health matters, routines, and unfinished responsibilities require a second look. Old tasks return, delayed projects reappear. Details that were overlooked earlier demand attention. Rather than creating problems, Mercury is helping you improve the systems that support your life. Adjustments made now can produce lasting benefits later. The first half of July focuses on creating order in your daily world. The second half begins opening new doors through partnership, cooperation, and shared goals. Let's look at the month in more detail. July 2nd, Venus forms an aspect to Black Moon Lilith, while Mars interacts with the lunar nodes. Questions involving friendships, community, long-term goals, and personal relationships move into focus. Black Moon Lilith is traveling through your 11th house, bringing greater awareness to the people who surround you. Certain situations help reveal who genuinely supports your vision, and who may no longer be aligned with where you're headed. Mars highlights themes involving romance, creativity, children, passion projects, and self-expression. Conversations and encounters around this time could influence how you see your future and the people you want beside you as that future unfolds. July 4th, Mars joins Uranus in your fifth house. This is one of the most exciting aspects of the month. A desire for freedom becomes impossible to ignore. Romantic developments may move unexpectedly. A creative project could take a surprising turn. Something that once felt intimidating suddenly feels worth pursuing. This transit invites you to step outside familiar patterns and reconnect with your authentic self-expression. The only caution here is impulsiveness. Excitement can be inspiring, but it can also lead to reckless choices if you're acting purely on adrenaline. Give inspiration room to breathe before making major decisions. July 5th, Mars forms a harmonious aspect to Pluto. For you, this connects the fifth house of creativity and self-expression with the first house of identity and personal power. Your confidence strengthens noticeably. There is a powerful sense of alignment between who you are and what you want. Creative projects gain momentum. Public appearances, presentations, dating, networking, and personal initiatives all benefit from this energy. People are paying attention. Your presence carries more impact than usual. The more authentically you show up, the stronger the response you're likely to receive. July 6th, the sun forms a challenging aspect to Saturn. This activates the axis connecting your sixth house of work and daily responsibilities with your third house of communication, learning, transportation, and logistics. Work obligations may compete with educational plans, travel arrangements, paperwork, or important conversations. Time management becomes essential. The more organized your daily life is, the easier it becomes to handle larger ambitions. This transit encourages realistic planning rather than overcommitting yourself. July 7, Neptune begins its retrograde journey in your third house. A period of reflection begins around communication, learning, information, documents, and the ideas that shape your worldview. Over the coming months, you'll gain a clearer understanding of what deserves your trust. Certain beliefs may shift. Some sources of information lose credibility. Other insights become increasingly valuable. Gradually, you'll recognize which knowledge has genuine long-term value, and which ideas have simply been distracting background noise. July 9th, Venus enters Virgo and your 8th house. Themes involving shared finances, investments, support, trust, emotional intimacy, and resource management become more important. Relationships deepen. Conversations become more meaningful. Financial matters require greater attention and precision. This is a supportive period for discussing shared plans, reviewing financial arrangements, creating agreements, and strengthening trust within important relationships. The details matter now, and the willingness to address those details creates stronger foundations for the future. July 11th, Venus joins the South Node in your 8th house. Financial matters, obligations, emotional attachments, or unresolved stories from the past may resurface. Something that has lingered beneath the surface can finally move toward resolution. This transit offers a chance to release old fears, outdated emotional patterns, lingering resentments, or financial entanglements that have quietly drained your energy. Making space for the future often begins with letting go of what no longer belongs there. July 13. The Sun joins retrograde Mercury in your 6th house. This marks the midpoint of the Mercury retrograde cycle and often brings important realizations. Answers begin to emerge regarding work, health, daily responsibilities, schedules, and the systems that support your everyday life. Something you've been trying to understand suddenly makes more sense. A work situation may reveal its true dynamics. A health matter may become easier to understand. A routine that once seemed effective may show where adjustments are needed. You're able to step back and view the bigger picture more objectively. Still, Mercury remains retrograde, so this is a time for observation and refinement rather than final decisions. Later that same day, Venus forms a challenging aspect to Uranus. For Aquarius, this activates the 8th and 5th houses. Financial considerations and personal desires may not immediately align. A romantic situation, creative project, or financial matter could take an unexpected turn. Plans may shift. New information may emerge. Flexibility becomes your greatest asset. The less attached you are to a specific outcome, the easier it becomes to recognize a better alternative. July 14. A new moon in Cancer takes place in your 6th house. A new chapter begins involving work, health, habits, productivity, and daily routines. This is one of the most practical and useful new moons of the year for you. The days surrounding this lunation are ideal for introducing healthier habits, restructuring your schedule, launching a wellness program, improving your workflow, or creating systems that support your long-term goals. Small changes introduced now can produce surprisingly significant results over the coming months. This new moon is less about dramatic breakthroughs and more about creating a stronger foundation for everything that follows. July 18. Uranus forms a harmonious aspect to Pluto. For you, this powerful transit links the 5th house of creativity and self-expression with Pluto in your 1st house. This is one of the strongest aspects of the month for personal evolution. A creative project, romantic experience, personal passion, or bold new idea can become the catalyst for profound change. You begin seeing yourself differently. You become more aware of your strengths. You recognize talents and qualities that may have been underestimated in the past. Certain choices made during this period have the potential to influence the direction of your life for years to come. This is a moment to trust your individuality and allow yourself to become more visible. The world benefits when you stop hiding what makes you unique. July 19. Mars forms an aspect to Saturn. Now inspiration meets discipline. Creative projects, romantic relationships, children's matters, and personal initiatives require structure and commitment. This transit helps separate ideas that are ready for implementation from those that still need refinement. Not every dream needs immediate action. Some require patience. Some need preparation. What succeeds now is built through consistency rather than speed. The effort you invest today creates momentum that continues long after the transit has passed. July 20th. Jupiter forms a challenging aspect to Pluto, while simultaneously creating a harmonious aspect to Neptune. Jupiter is traveling through your 7th house, opening a major new cycle through partnership, collaboration, and meaningful relationships. Support arrives through other people. Clients, partners, allies, mentors, and close connections begin playing a larger role in your future. Yet Pluto in your 1st house reminds you that relationships evolve as you evolve. The people entering your life now often mirror your own growth process. As your identity changes, your relationships naturally change with it. This transit invites you to examine which aspects of your personality belong to the past, and which qualities are emerging to support the future you're creating. Neptune adds intuition and deeper understanding. You begin sensing more clearly the kind of relationships, environment, and future that truly resonate with who you're becoming. July 22nd. The Sun enters Leo and your 7th house. After several weeks focused on work, routines, and practical matters, attention shifts toward people. Relationships move to center stage. Partnerships become more important. Negotiations gain momentum. Clients, collaborators, and significant connections begin occupying more of your attention. What makes this especially powerful is that the Sun joins Jupiter in the same area of your chart. The second half of July becomes one of the most promising periods of the year for building new alliances and strengthening existing relationships. Many of the doors opening now are opening because of the people entering your life. Sometimes a single connection changes everything. July 23rd. Mercury stations direct. Questions involving work, health, routines, and organization begin moving forward. The confusion of recent weeks starts clearing. It becomes easier to identify what works and what doesn't. The systems you're building begin making more sense. Plans become easier to implement. Solutions that seemed elusive suddenly appear practical and achievable. What felt uncertain only a short time ago gradually settles into a more coherent and workable structure. July 27th. The Sun forms an opposition to Pluto while simultaneously creating a harmonious aspect to Neptune. The Sun is moving through your 7th house, while Pluto continues its long-term journey through your 1st house. The balance between your needs and the needs of others becomes a central theme. Relationships act as mirrors now. A partner, client, collaborator, or important person may help you recognize both your strengths and the areas where further growth is needed. Interactions carry unusual depth. Certain conversations reveal truths that have been hidden beneath the surface. This transit invites a deeper understanding of yourself through your connections with others. Neptune softens the intensity and brings wisdom, compassion, and perspective. What initially appears challenging may ultimately reveal a greater purpose. On the same day, Saturn begins its retrograde journey in Aries. For Aquarius, this begins an important review process involving communication, learning, transportation, paperwork, siblings, neighbors, and your immediate environment. The months ahead help you strengthen your mental foundation. You'll gain greater clarity about how you communicate, what information deserves your attention, and which skills will support your future most effectively. Saturn encourages you to build stronger intellectual, logistical, and organizational systems that can support your next chapter. July 29th. A full moon in Aquarius illuminates your first house. This is one of the most significant moments of the month. The spotlight turns toward you. The results of developments unfolding over the last 6 months become visible. Your perception of yourself begins to change. You see more clearly who you have become, what matters most, and where you want to go next. This full moon often brings a powerful realization about identity, purpose, and personal direction. A chapter of self-discovery reaches an important turning point. You begin seeing yourself through new eyes. The same day brings one of the strongest alignments of the entire month. The Sun joins Jupiter in your 7th house. This is a remarkable signature for relationships, partnerships, collaboration, and meaningful alliances. People enter your life who may play an important role in your future. Promising proposals can appear. Professional collaborations gain momentum. Existing relationships can deepen and become more significant. New doors open through connection. Because this conjunction occurs opposite your sign, balance remains essential. The focus isn't solely on your needs or someone else's needs. The real magic comes from finding a healthy middle ground between independence and partnership. The end of July may mark the beginning of an entirely new chapter in a relationship or an important professional alliance. July becomes a month of meaningful connections, powerful new alliances, and profound personal change. The first half of the month focuses on creating greater order in your work, routines, health, and daily life. Mercury retrograde encourages careful attention to details and provides an opportunity to strengthen the foundation that will support future success. The second half of July carries a very different energy. The Sun and Jupiter moving through your 7th house open a new chapter through relationships, partnerships, collaboration, and meaningful interactions with others. Many of the most important developments arrive through the people entering your life now. Meanwhile, Pluto continues its transformative work in your 1st house. You are changing. As you evolve, your relationships evolve. Your goals change. Your social circles shift. The people who resonate with your future become easier to recognize. July helps you understand who is truly meant to walk beside you and which partnerships have the potential to become part of your long-term future. Your greatest strength right now is your willingness to connect, collaborate, remain open to new people, and express your authentic self without apology. Have a wonderful July, dear Aquarius.